Okay, everybody, I promised you a video. It's been a while. I was waiting to get my tripod in. I needed a new one. I'm tired of those little cheap-ass $20, $30 aluminum ones. I've gone through 3 of those, so I broke down and got myself a decent one this time. It's a Vanguard trophy. Anyway, my battery went out on my camera, so I'm using my phone. I could go charge up the battery and come back later and use my other camera, but this works just as fine. Anyway, the project of this was I changed this to a Fender, where it started out as a Squire. Now, this is the old body. I'm going to show you something here. There's some things about this I really don't like. Let's move this over a little bit. First of all, I don't know if you're going to notice, but this is not the usual cutout pattern for a Fender guitar. It would be if you were putting 3 humbuckers in it, but this has 3 single coils in it, so this is still an unusual cutout for that. This is fairly normal, and that's normal, but all this other is like not normal. Anyway, the biggest problem with this body is this neck pocket. It's too wide here, and then I don't know if you can see it. Well, you can't see it here, but well, you can a little bit. See how the pocket is not squared up and it's not level? You can see a little bit of an angle to it. Yeah, that's a big, big problem, because when I would bolt the neck on, it would pull hardcore to this side over here and leave a big gap over here. I mean, up underneath the neck, there would be a big gap. And then there was huge gaps all along here. The funny thing with that is this is cut out for a Telecaster neck. It's all squared off. That's not the way a Strat is. A Strat is curved. So this body, it can be reused, but it needs a lot of work. I would have to literally cut this pocket out further and cut it out deeper, and then glue a plug in it, get a template, and recut it properly. That's an awful lot of work. And then the templates is like, what? The templates could cost me somewhere in between 100. Anyway, when you get down to brass tacks and nails, by the time I get done fixing this body, I could have bought a new body. Like I did this one. This one is a Fender guitar body in cherry or candy apple red. And I also replaced the pick guard with a Fender pre-wired pick guard. And this has the Tex-Mex pickups in it. So I was going to put a custom pick guard on it and new electronics other than this stuff. And you look at this. Look at this, is pure garbage. These, it's just like, what the hell are these? And then this is like the cheapest 5-way switch in the world. So, and then these pickups are all stuck together. These are not a true pickup. Oh, they look like it. These metal slugs, that's all they are, metal slugs. The magnet on the bottom. This is a cheap-ass Chinese piece of garbage pickup. You can buy those on eBay all day long for like $10 or $15 a set. I mean, they're just complete garbage. Some people think they sound okay and all that blah, 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 but they're not a quality pickup by any stretch of the imagination. So I went out, like I said, and got that, and I saved myself a bundle of money doing this, but by the time I got done with this, I could have bought a used Fender. But this looks so much nicer. It looks brand new. And okay, now I had to get some new hardware for it, because at one point I had the old body stripped down and I lost the box of hardware. I moved my shed into my basement because it fell down. It was really, really old, and it finally fell down, and so I had to go out there and take everything and bring it, store it in the basement. And I'm gonna have to go through it all and everything. It's just a big mess. It was my work shed, so now I don't have a work shed anymore. It was so freaking old, and it was some cheap Montgomery Ward thing, and The walls were made out of the cheapest fiberboard you could possibly expect, and it just got wet and wet and wet, and then just finally fell apart, and the walls gave out and flooding, and oh god, it was just a mess. So over the years, it just basically fell apart. So now I don't have a storage slash work shed anymore. So now I'm working in the basement. Now but in the meantime, back to the guitar. So I took that body after trying to, because you notice it's painted black in here. I did that because I tried to fix that pocket without going this route, and I just couldn't do it. It is not without the proper tools and templates and all that kind of stuff to fix it properly. I just couldn't do it. So I opted for a new guitar body. You can get these guitar bodies at, you can buy them right directly from Fender.com, or you can get them through StewMac, or you can get them through Sweetwater. You can get them all through those different places like that. It's $250 for the body, no matter where you go to get it. It's always $250. This here was $150, but it was cheaper to buy it that way than it was to buy all of these components separately. By the time you get done, that was going to be well over $200. So that I saved myself some money there too. So anyway, out of that Squire, the only thing that was worth the crap was this neck, which between this guitar and the other, my son's little Squire Mini, which actually turned out to be a decent guitar without any problems, but they all needed fretwork. So, excuse the mess, the clutter, but I had to buy all the tools necessary to do setups, or basically guitar maintenance stuff, because I've never done this before, and I couldn't really afford to pay anybody else to do it. But by the time I got done buying all this crap, I could have just paid somebody to do it. But now I've got the stuff, and I can always take care of it, and that way I save money in the long run. I didn't up front, but I will in the long run. So anyway, with all of this done, I learned how to do frets. Now these frets is like smooth down here. You can't hardly feel those frets on the edges. And then I had to get the board, the fretboard was extremely dried out. I got the impression that this was a pawn shop guitar and that nobody had ever played it, and it was just, or whatever, it just got beat around in the closet, because the body itself on this is not in that bad a shape. It's not like it's all worn or belt buckle. It's got some scratches and stuff on it, like it was stuck in a, it just lived its life in a closet. It just has no wear, no playing type wear marks on it. The frets were good. I mean, everything. So there's no play wear on it. But in the process of doing all that, that body also had some problems with this. I had to put in new these here because the screw holes were stripped out, and I don't like those little metal ones, because the little metal ones, the strings have a tendency to drag in them. So, and the nut was really bad too. So Graphtec XL nuts and string trees on those. And then for, as you can see, the tuning machines are not stock either. Well, the tuning machines were stuck. The knobs turned, but the tuning machines didn't turn. So I don't know what the hell was going on with that. So those got replaced with these. These things are fantastic. Notice there's no wires sticking all over the place. Why? Auto trim. These things are not only locking, but they're also auto trim. See, there's the auto trim. Fantastic. Love them. But that takes care of all that. Got brand new Fender number 9 strings on it, which actually they're not too bad on the price on those. You can buy those all day long. It was, I think, paid $7 or something like that for that set. Not bad at all. And then the strap locks on it, I didn't like the stock ones on it. And the felt on them was bad. So I made my own leather washers on there. Made some black suede leather. It's a fairly thick, so get a good bite on there and all. But I put these, as you can see, strap locks on here. These work like this. I got this little piece on the bottom. You just pull up on it and it just comes right off. But if you notice here, this washer, that's leather. Black thick leather. That way it gets a good bite down on that, locks in place, and won't harm the guitar, because the felt is garbage. I mean, it compacts and it stays that way. This leather will probably do the same thing, but it's thicker. It's just as soft, won't scratch or anything like that. So I just did that to take care of, because I didn't want to fuck with black felt. Come on. I mean, it's just a waste of time. So I just did it this way. But like I said, I misplaced all this stuff, so I had to get a new bridge, and that came with this, and then I had to get a new jack, and that was inexpensive. I got that stuff at Guitar Fetish. Dirt cheap stuff, and the quality is just as good as stock. or OEM, if you want to call it OEM. So anyway, that's the story about this PartsCaster that's in really nice shape now. And I just got through tuning it up. It's a little out of tune again. Brand new strings, they do that. Then also to do all the guitars, I purchased this little strobe tuner. Who makes Strobo clip. Nice, and it works real well, and it's like super accurate. So yeah, with brand new strings, it's hard to keep in tune, and that thing is just, you get them right on, and you'll play a little bit, and come back, and it's out of tune again. But that's new strings. You got to play them a little bit until they stretch out, and then they stop doing that. So anyway, so I did that, and then also had to get a guitar cleaning kit. You know, it has all the lemon oil and all that stuff in it to clean the guitar and all, and that worked out great. I could have used furniture polish, but not quite the same, because it leaves a wax on there. And then you'll end up having to clean that up over time. So on top of all of that, we needed picks, and you can buy picks a dime a dozen. But I got fat hands. I got big, well, not fat. I got big hands, big hands, and I needed something. Plus, I got some arthritis. I needed something that was big to fit my hand, and would work if my hands started to cramp from arthritis. I needed something. So this is a little bit offshoot from what I'm normally talking about here, you know, or what I'm digressing into a different subject, but it's all along on the same subject. So anyway, these are from a place on Etsy. It's called BHL Guitar Picks. They're out of Singapore. These things are huge, soft grip. They will not wear out or get beat up or anything like a regular guitar pick. These things are fantastic. So they come in different sizes, different colors. That's BHL Guitar Picks. You can find them on Etsy. That is if you're inclined to buy any guitar picks. This one here, this one, it's either this one or the blue one. You can see they're both the same size. One of them is called the Claymore. But anyway, you can see why, because that thing is huge. How many picks you know? But it feels so comfortable in the hand. And if you got to really pick hard, I mean, it fits. And then the texture on it, this one here especially, the texture, it won't slip in your hand. It's very, very comfortable. It's smooth feeling. But when you grip it, it's there. It's not going anywhere. You can feel it. So anyway, that's just a little something. But anyway, that's where I went with this guitar. It was a lot of work I didn't expect to do, because I thought I could get that guitar to work when it was in there, but it just, like I said, that neck pocket, it just would not allow it. The electronics were garbage. But now we got a nice, slightly out of tune, but like I said, the relief is great. This neck was good and straight, so that helped out a bunch. I didn't have to go out and pay $300 for a new neck. By then, I might just buy a new guitar, buy a used guitar. But this basically is brand new now, because this neck looks brand new. I said there was no play on it. All I had to do was clean up the frets. There was no wear on the frets at all. Just do a fret job. And like I said, you can't even feel the frets along the side. I did that so well. I took my time, listened to the guys on the internet on how to do fret jobs and all. And ta-da, there you go. Like I said, I'd play it for you, but I forgot how. I got to learn all over again. So it's the same thing with all of these over here. So here, that one there, that's a Squire Mini for my son. And it actually, all it needed was a fret job. And that one's in great shape. It still has the Chinese level pickups in it, but for just a beginning guitar, that's okay. Now, I will probably upgrade that later, but the nice thing about that is it will take Fender parts, so I can go through, and the cheap Chinese crap, I can just change it out for something new and don't have to buy a whole new guitar. And then there's my Schecter bass right there. And then there's my wife's Gretsch bass. So, and that's a short scale, because she's short and she can't reach on a standard bass like I can. And actually that standard bass seems kind of fits me, but it almost seems short, but it's standard. I've never played a bass before. I wanted to learn how, so I got that on sale. So I didn't spend as much on that as I thought I was going to have to. But in the meantime, I guess my next project is to buy a Fender for myself, or a, I've seen some other models and brands of guitars out there that I like Ibanez, Schecter, Fender, of course. Gibson is another one, but I don't know if I want to pay that much money for a guitar that was made in the USA when I can buy a Ibanez for a fraction of the price of a Gibson. But you think about it though, if you want to spend $1,000 on a guitar, you can go to just about any guitar manufacturer and get a really nice guitar. So there you go. At that point there, it's just a matter of preference. So that's what I've been doing lately over the last 6 months or so, is learning all this stuff. Now, yeah, it drug out because I couldn't afford to pay for everything all at once. So it was piece until I could afford it all. And of course, a nice strap on here. She thought my daughter really likes this. It's almost like a what do you call it? What was his name? I'm trying to think. He did artwork for the Beatles and stuff like that back in the 70s, or in the 60s and 70s. I'm trying to think, what was the guy's name again? Darn it. He did all the artwork for people like the Beatles and stuff on their albums. He did the artwork for Yellow Submarine. So anyway, that's the type of strap that I got her, something along that line, the kind of a 60s, 70s vibe kind of thing. And she really likes that. So Peter Max, that's who I was thinking of. Peter Max. So anyway, that's it. And that's all I have for today. So y'all take care. And if you like this, thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.